Today, we're peeling back the curtain on 1983's number one hits, the songs that dominated the charts and the shocking stories behind them. What you're about to hear might change how you view some of your favorite artists. These aren't just rose-tinted memories, this is the unvarnished truth about the music that defined 1983. Men at Work's journey to the top with Down Under wasn't the feel-good story many believe. Formed in Melbourne in 1978,
Smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich.
They faced intense opposition from Australian media who labeled them cultural traitors for pursuing an international sound. The band's determination paid off when Down Under topped the charts worldwide, but success bred contempt. Internal feuds over royalties and creative control eventually shattered the band, leading to decades of legal battles that continue to this very day. The iconic flute riff in Down Under sparked a massive copyright lawsuit in 2009 when publishing company Larrikin Music claimed it was stolen from a 1934 children's song, Kookaburra Sits in the Old Gum Tree. The court battle ended with the band forced to surrender 5% of the song's royalties dating back to 2002. The devastation devastated flautist Greg Ham, who blamed himself for the controversy until his death in 2012. Toto represented the pinnacle of Los Angeles session musicians, having played on over 5,000 albums collectively before forming their own band. When they wrote Africa, record executives mocked them mercilessly, claiming a bunch of studio musicians couldn't write authentic hits. The band mortgaged their homes to fund the recording sessions, risking everything on a song about a continent none of them had ever visited. The percussion sound in Africa isn't traditional drums. It's actually Jeff Porcaro rubbing his hands on the legs of his leather pants and mixing it with rice falling on the studio floor. He spent 3 days perfecting this technique, ruining countless bags of rice until he achieved the exact sound of rainfall he wanted. Unfortunately, various internet rumors about this technique, allegedly contributing to Porcaro's early death in 1992, have been thoroughly debunked. Patty Austin and James Ingram's collaboration on Baby Come to Me emerged from a studio environment rife with tension.
Baby, come to me.
Producer Quincy Jones deliberately kept them recording separately for weeks, fueling speculation in the music press about a bitter feud between the artists. When they finally recorded together, the emotional tension created the chemistry that made the song soar to number one, though both artists initially refused to tour together to promote it. Decades later, studio logs revealed that Jones had spliced together dozens of takes to create the final version. The vocal track that appears on the record is actually compiled from 32 different takes. I can tell these stories are hitting home. If you're enjoying these revelations about your favorite songs, take a moment to hit that subscribe button. Share your own memories of these songs in the comments below. Were you there when these hits first played on the radio? Let's keep this musical conversation going. Michael Jackson's Billie Jean almost never made it onto Thriller. Quincy Jones fought against including it, calling the bass line too weak and the intro too long. Record executives worried the lyrics about paternity claims would damage Jackson's image. The intense arguments during production led Jackson to threaten to scrap the entire album if the song wasn't released as he envisioned it. The song's legendary music video cost $50,000 after CBS initially refused to fund it. Jackson paid for it himself, introducing the illuminated sidewalk effect that required special lighting to be built into the pavement. Each tile cost $1,000, yet only lit up for 3 seconds when stepped on. Jackson insisted on 47 takes of the sidewalk sequence. Dexys' Midnight Runners reached number one with Come On Eileen. Despite internal chaos that nearly destroyed the band. Kevin Rowland's perfectionism drove multiple members to quit during recording, and the band went through 3 different lineup changes while making the song. The real Eileen, whose identity remained secret for decades, was Rowland's first girlfriend from Catholic school. The distinctive overalls worn in the video weren't a stylistic choice. The band's regular clothes were stolen from their tour van the night before filming. They bought the overalls from a nearby workwear shop, creating an iconic look by accident. Michael Jackson returned to number 1 with Beat It, featuring Eddie Van Halen's guitar work. A collaboration both management teams advised against. Van Halen refused payment for his contribution, leading to tension with his bandmates who felt he was devaluing their brand. The guitar solo was recorded in less than 30 minutes. During filming of the gang scenes, one of the rival gang members accidentally set himself on fire trying to appear tougher for the camera. Jackson personally drove him to the hospital and paid his medical bills, swearing everyone to secrecy to prevent negative press about the video shoot. Irene Cara's Flashdance, What a Feeling, topped the charts while she was locked in a bitter legal battle with her record label. Despite the song's massive success, Cara discovered she wasn't being paid her contractual royalties. The ensuing lawsuit effectively blacklisted her from the industry, with many radio stations mysteriously dropping her songs from rotation. The final version of the song uses Cara's demo vocal, recorded when she thought she was just practicing because they couldn't recapture the raw emotion in subsequent recordings. She didn't know this until the song was already on the radio. The Police's Every Breath You Take
Every step you take.
Was written by Sting during the collapse of his first marriage while he was having an affair with his wife's best friend. The band barely spoke during recording sessions, with drummer Stuart Copeland and Sting requiring separate studios to record their parts. The tension became so severe that producer Hugh Padgham had to relay messages between band members who refused to speak directly to each other. The song's hypnotic guitar riff, played by Andy Summers, was actually created by accident when he played a wrong chord during rehearsal. Sting heard it and insisted they keep it, leading to one of rock's most recognizable guitar parts. Summers never received songwriting credit. Hey guys, this is the kind of content you won't find anywhere else. If these stories are striking a chord with you, make sure to hit that subscribe button and share this video with other music fans who appreciate the real stories behind their favorite songs. Now, let's dive back into more shocking revelations from 1983. Eurythmics created Sweet Dreams during their darkest period.
Sweet dreams are made of the end.
After their first band collapsed, Annie Lennox battled severe depression while Dave Stewart recovered from a collapsed lung. They recorded in a grimy warehouse above a picture framing shop using borrowed equipment because they were bankrupt. Record companies rejected the song 17 times, claiming Lennox's androgynous image would alienate mainstream audiences. The famous synthesizer riff came from a happy accident. Their only working synthesizer had a broken key that kept repeating the same note. Unable to afford repairs, they worked the malfunction into the song. The broken key eventually fell off completely during the final recording session, but they'd already captured the iconic sequence. Michael Sembello originally wrote Maniac after watching a documentary about serial killer Son of Sam.
She's a maniac, maniac.
The song's first version contained disturbing lyrics about a murderer on the prowl until the Flashdance film producers accidentally heard it and convinced Sembello to rewrite it about a dancer. The distinctive electronic sound in the chorus came from Sembello's neighbor's burglar alarm going off during recording. They quickly set up microphones to capture the sound, and the neighbor, furious about the noise complaint, later tried to sue for co-writing credit. Billy Joel's Tell Her About It marked his deliberate attempt to create a Motown sound,
Tell her about it. Tell her everything you feel.
angering many of his rock-oriented fans. His record label strongly opposed the stylistic shift, warning that he would alienate his core audience. This decision led to a bitter falling out with his longtime producer Phil Ramone, who initially refused to be involved with the recording. Joel brought in actual Motown session veterans to play on the track, but they demanded anonymity, fearing their association with a white rock artist would damage their reputations in the R&B community. Years later, Joel admitted the secrecy was one of his biggest career regrets. Bonnie Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart
A total eclipse of the heart.
came after she was nearly written off by the industry due to vocal cord surgery that gave her the signature raspy voice we know today. Producer Jim Steinman had originally written the song for Meatloaf. The recording sessions took place in a supposedly haunted Welsh castle where multiple equipment malfunctions and power outages plagued the production. The original version ran over 8 minutes, and the producer refused to cut it down, leading to a heated confrontation with the record label. The compromise was to release the full version on the album and an edited version for radio. Tyler later revealed she preferred the shorter version, but was afraid to admit it to Steinman. Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton's Islands in the Stream
Islands in the stream.
emerged from the Bee Gees' attempt to write an R&B song for Diana Ross. Rogers initially rejected the song after 4 failed recording attempts, storming out of the studio. Parton, who happened to be recording in the same building, stepped in as a last-minute replacement for what was supposed to be a solo Rogers record. The song's famous key change wasn't planned. Parton started singing in a different key by mistake during recording, and Rogers instinctively followed her lead. Both artists wanted to re-record it, but producer Barry Gibb insisted on keeping the Happy Accident version. Lionel Richie's All Night Long sparked controversy when he admitted years later that he had made up the African lyrics in the song's bridge. After failing to find a proper African dialect coach, Richie invented words that he thought sounded African, creating tension with cultural authenticity advocates who had praised the song's supposed genuine African influences. During the video shoot, the entire neighborhood lost power, and hundreds of locals showed up with flashlights and car headlights to illuminate the scene. This spontaneous community response inspired Richie to rewrite the final verse, but the record company demanded he keep the original version. Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson's Say, Say, Say marked the beginning of the end of their friendship, though neither knew it at the time. The collaboration went so well that Jackson asked McCartney for investment advice, leading to Jackson's purchase of the Beatles' catalog, a move that blindsided McCartney and permanently fractured their relationship. The song was recorded at McCartney's farm in Louisiana, where the two superstars lived like ordinary people for a week, cooking their own meals and sharing stories on the porch. The local townspeople kept their presence secret from the media, but afterwards, several residents tried to sell furniture and items that the stars had touched, causing both artists to become more guarded about future collaborations. Well, that's it for today's deep dive into 1983's biggest hits. These songs might have topped the charts 40 years ago, but their stories continue to resonate. If you've enjoyed these revealing looks behind the music, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell. Share your own memories of these songs in the comments below. Were you surprised by any of these revelations? Did you witness any of these moments firsthand? Your stories are part of music history as well. Until next time, keep discovering the truth behind the tunes.